If you're thinking about buying a home in New York City, you've probably heard all about the cost-saving benefits of buying a co-op. But before you make a purchase, you want to be sure you know what you're getting yourself into. There is a big difference between this type of property and another popular one called a condo, and it likely explains the price difference and appeals to different buyers. So, we're going to take a closer look at why co-ops exist and what you need to know before you buy one. New York has always been innovative when it comes to real estate, and nothing demonstrates that fact more than the development of co-ops. Although co-ops have existed in some form for many years and can be found all over the world, more than half of US co-ops are found here in New York City, and they make a large percentage of Manhattan market. Co-op is short for housing cooperative. When you buy a co-op, you don't actually own the unit you live in. Instead, you are considered a shareholder in a company that owns the entire building. This allows you to elect a board of directors and decide what happens in the community. But that also means other shareholders also have more control over who is allowed to live in the building and what they can and cannot do. Think about it like owning stock in a business. Rather than owning an entire company, you own a smaller percentage of the business along with other shareholders, and certain privileges because of it. However, when you purchase a co-op, your investment also provides you with a place to live. Condos are the exact opposite. When you buy a condo, you own your unit and that's it. You can do whatever you want in your own unit and access any shared amenities in the building. But you don't have much control over who is allowed to live in the building or how other residents behave. For instance, if you live next to a noisy neighbor in a condo building, there's not much you can do except ask them to be quiet. But you can bring it up to the board in a co-op and let them settle the dispute. Condos also tend to be more expensive. In my experience, I can often find co-ops to be around 30% lower in price compared to condos that offer a similar size and location. Co-ops in New York have existed for close to 150 years. The location of the first official co-op in New York is often debated, but some of the earliest examples began popping up in Manhattan in the 1880s. Originally known as home clubs, these early co-ops were created to attract wealthy New Yorkers who wanted spacious, centrally located homes that were more exclusive than regular apartment buildings. However, they quickly gained popularity as a way to make homeownership more affordable for the masses. Co-ops also saw a resurgence in the 1970s and 80s as a way for homeowners to band together and improve run-down apartment buildings in Manhattan. Today, though, co-ops make a whopping 70% of homes for sale in Manhattan. Aside from the price difference, some people love living in co-ops, mainly because of the sense of community they offer. Because every unit owner is considered a shareholder, residents in these buildings tend to be more involved in the community and active in its affairs. Due to the grueling application process, they also tend to be in it for the long haul and invested in establishing roots, compared to condo owners who can be more transient. However, there are plenty of disadvantages to living in a co-op as well. Co-ops were created to make homeownership more accessible to the masses. While they are still relevant in today's market, the model is a bit outdated for many modern homebuyers. Although the idea sounds great in theory, co-op boards often abuse the way a co-op is operated, getting to decide who can be their neighbor and possibly breaking some fair housing laws in the process. So they often overexert their power to control how the building is managed, what people can do, and sometimes to the detriment of the co-op community. These days, many condo boards now operate just like a co-op, which is basically defeats the entire purpose. But at least with the condo, you own the property itself. Though the purchase price for one of these guys is typically lower than a condo, the building's maintenance fees that you pay monthly out of pocket tend to be higher than in a condo. Plus, co-ops can require between 20 to 50% down payment, as some don't even allow financing at all. But you'll also need strong financial credentials to be approved by the board, which means you'll need to have plenty of savings left over and a good debt-to-income ratio. So, if you're considering buying a co-op, ensure you're well prepared. Research the building, research the community, the board minutes, and the application process to ensure that you stand a fighting chance of being approved before you even start the entire process. It also helps to assemble an experienced team of professionals who can help you prepare for the process or decide if buying a co-op is truly the right move for you. If you need help finding the perfect co-op or condo in New York City, reach out to our team or check out the other videos on co-ops on this channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Later!